Growing Proficiency, a Second Language Acquisition Metaphor Through the Life of a Tree by Laura Garrett. The process of learning a second language is often compared to growth. It's gradual, dynamic, and shaped by both internal and external influences. A tree offers a fitting metaphor for second language acquisition, with its roots symbolizing foundational theories, the trunk representing proficiency, the branches showing personal and social factors, and the leaves showing the interaction and output. Just like a tree thrives in a nurturing environment, successful SLA requires optimal conditions, including supportive teaching strategies, emotional safety, and meaningful engagement with the language. Let's explore how second language acquisition aligns with the metaphor of a growing tree, examining key theories, processes, and conditions that facilitate language growth. Roots are the anchor and foundation of a tree, absorbing nutrients and providing stability. In the context of SLA, foundational theories, including behaviorism, innatism, and social interactionism, serve as the roots that shape our understanding of how language is acquired. Behaviorism by Skinner poses that language learning is a process of habit formation. Through repetition and reinforcement, learners absorb foundational linguistic structures, like the roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. Those repetitive drills and rote memorization are limited in scope, but they can establish initial familiarity with basic vocabulary and sentence patterns. However, this approach alone cannot sustain the deep growth required for fluency, the way compacted soil limits the growth of a tree. Chomsky's theory of innatism introduced the idea of a language acquisition device and universal grammar. According to this perspective, humans possess an innate capacity for language learning. Krashen's monitor model extends this theory by emphasizing the importance of comprehensible unit, the I+1, meaning language that is just slightly beyond the learner's current level. This input acts as the nutrients that roots draw in, enabling the tree to grow. Vygotsky's sociocultural theory highlights the importance of social interaction in language acquisition. Language is not learned in isolation, but through meaningful engagement with others. Fungi in the soil allow trees to communicate to one another. Through their roots, they can share nutrients, water, and minerals, helping groups of trees survive and thrive better than a tree in isolation. The zone of proximal development and scaffolding are essential concepts here. Scaffolding, much like a forester, supports a young sapling and provides the temporary assistance learners need to progress. The way soil must be amended to encourage growth, peer-to-peer learning, and teacher-guided discussions can create rich environments for these interactions. The trunk represents the structural core of the tree, connecting the roots to the branches and the leaves. In SLA, the trunk symbolizes the processes and components of language proficiency, which include the integration of foundational skills and cognitive frameworks. Cummins' distinction between basic interpersonal communication skills and cognitive academic language proficiency illustrates how language proficiency develops. BICS, like the early growth of the trunk, reflects everyday conversational skills, while CALP represents the deeper academic language required for sustained growth. Helping students move from BICS to CALP involves scaffolding academic language and integrating content-based instruction. Cummins' common underlying proficiency, the CUP, emphasizes the transferability of cognitive and linguistic skills across languages. The deep heartwood of the trunk grows stronger when learners build on their first language to develop their second. By honoring and incorporating students' home languages into lessons, teachers help them strengthen this central core. Branches extend outward, reflecting the diverse factors that influence SLA. These include cognitive styles and motivation, social interactions, and emotional conditions, which can either enhance or hinder growth. Like the shape of a branch, learners' cognitive styles, such as field-dependent or field-independent, shape how they approach language learning. Growth mindset is the belief that abilities can improve through effort, and that acts as the branch's adaptability to environmental challenges. Teachers can foster this mindset by celebrating progress and encouraging risk-taking in language use. The surrounding trees represent the learner's social and emotional environment. Maslow's hierarchy of needs underlines the importance of meeting students' basic needs and psychological needs before they can focus on language acquisition. Safety, belonging, and self-esteem are essential for a student to thrive. Trees need room to grow, but not so much room that they are growing in isolation. Creating a welcoming classroom culture ensures that learners feel secure and motivated to participate. Leaves are where the tree absorbs sunlight and performs photosynthesis, fueling its growth. In SLA, leaves symbolize interaction, feedback, and output as the essential processes through which learners internalize and produce language. Interaction is central to SLA. According to Long's interaction hypothesis, language learning occurs through meaningful exchanges. Swain's output hypothesis argues that producing language strengthens learning by forcing the learners to test hypotheses and refine their skills. Activities like group discussion and collaborative projects encourage active participation and output. Leaves grow stronger and larger when they efficiently absorb sunlight, just as learners improve when they notice linguistic patterns and receive constructive feedback. Schmidt's noticing hypothesis and Gass's work on attention emphasize the role of awareness in language. Error correction, when delivered empathetically, helps students refine their language skills without hindering their confidence. A tree's growth depends on its environment, including sunlight, water, and protection from adverse conditions. Similarly, successful SLA requires a supportive learning environment tailored to meet the needs of diverse learners. Honoring students' home languages and cultures is crucial for creating a nurturing environment. Translanguaging strategies allow students to draw on their full linguistic repertoire, strengthening their connection to both L1 and L2. By integrating bilingual resources and celebrating cultural diversity, teachers can cultivate an inclusive atmosphere where all students feel valued. A diverse forest thrives and flourishes far more than monocultural tree plantations grown solely for harvesting. Applying Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, lessons should cater to different learning styles. Cooperative learning, inspired by Kagan strategies, fosters positive group dynamics and participatory language learning. These methods ensure that students engage actively and collaboratively, much like trees, depending on their supportive, balanced, and diverse ecosystem. Second language acquisition, like the growth of a tree, is a complex, dynamic process shaped by foundational theories, cognitive and social factors, and a supportive environment. Just like roots, trunk, branches, and leaves work together to sustain a tree, SLA involves interconnected components, including foundational knowledge, proficiency, interaction, and emotional well-being. Educators play the role of foresters, nurturing students' growth by providing optimal conditions for learning. By embracing a holistic approach to SLA, we can help learners grow into their full linguistic potential, flourishing like a well-tended tree in a thriving forest.